Hello out there, thanks for joining me today. Another episode of Gear Talk. I just wanted to run through my Gibson SG Special, which I picked up pretty recently on the used market. It was a second-hand guitar, and for me it's just turned into a really great gigging machine, really good workhorse instrument. I'd always been curious about P90s, but never really found a guitar which did it for me. But you know, when I picked this up, just that feel of the neck and the resonance right across the instrument, I could just feel it ringing out. But it was a bit dull sounding, a bit dark when I was demoing it, but I liked the feel of it. I liked the weight, the ergonomics of it. I'd had SGs in the past, and I kind of felt like the neck was really out there and I'm supporting the weight of the guitar while I'm playing it. So you know, I really wanted to like SGs, but I was sort of struggling through it a little bit, you know, playing 3 or 4 sets. Sitting down was fine, but standing up with them, you know, as much of a fan of Angus Young and Derek Trucks that I am, and I love SGs, the sound of them, but yeah, just ergonomically, I was struggling a little bit to make it work. But something about this one, maybe I've just kind of grown into it. I find I'm moving it to the side a little bit while I'm playing. But yeah, it sits comfortably, and you know, obviously access right to the top of the fretboard there. But yeah, it's just kind of feeling like everything's in the right place here. So anyway, when I was testing it out, I could tell there was a really nice instrument in there, but it just needed a few tweaks. So I gave it a bit of a dress up, and the main thing that I did was that Music City bridge from Glazers. I got the Savvy wraparound tailpiece, I think it's called, which got over really quickly from Nashville, and wasn't cheap, but I thought, you know, for the price that I got the actual guitar for, I didn't mind spending a little bit of money with the upgrades. So I got that tailpiece there to start with, thinking I would also get some new pickups for it, and if anyone's got recommendations for P90s, I'd love to hear them. But these have really come alive with just this new piece of hardware, and just the brightness and the liveliness of the guitar, just by putting that on, and I was able just to do that myself really quickly and easily, just retrofitted in there, and I got the locking studs as well, so it's all really tightly in place. And yeah, it's just made the whole instrument really come alive. And not sure you're hearing the full majesty of it through an iPhone microphone that's you know, that big, but a bit of a crunchy clean tone there using a Bogner patch on the Fractal FM3. But yeah, I've been gigging this guitar for a few months now, and I'm really loving it. Sometimes when I play it at home, you know, it can sound a little plinky or something. I guess that's the distinctive sound of the P90s. But, you know, it's kind of giving me that sweet top end, which I liken to, you know, a Jazzmaster or, you know, a Gretsch Penguin or that sort of thing. And it's really nice having a guitar like this around to just balance out the traditional sounds that I get from a Strat or a Tele or my humbucking guitars here. So really enjoying it in the studio. I've done a bit of tracking on a new album with this one just over the last week. And yeah, it's just fitting itself really nicely into the frequency spectrum on these recording sessions here, and then playing it live as well. On its own, you know, it can sound a little thin or whatever, but just the playability of them, I think that 12-inch radius neck for me, I'm really enjoying that Gibson scale and playability. But yeah, when you stack it up against some other instruments, and you know, I'm playing in a band with full horn section and keyboards and that sort of thing, so you know, they're eating up a lot of that sonic space, and this one just fits right into that mix, and yeah, it really sings over the top. So yeah, so that's just my middle position, and what I find I'm doing is just blending these volumes in And I just take a little bit off the rhythm pickup there, that neck pickup, just to take off some of the bass and just bring out that treble. So I've got the bridge pickup usually on sort of 8 or 9, and then this one here kind of sitting on 6 and 7. And then I'll just kind of blend that into taste, but I find just setting it up that way just gives me the brightness that I want to hear from the instrument. And so the neck pickup on its own is just giving me a nice sort of just nice bluesy territory there, and kind of that mellow jazz thing on the neck pickup. I'll use that for a couple of songs. Most of the time though, I'm really just sitting in the middle, and I would say 3/4 of the gigs that I played, I've just left it right there, and then I'll just adjust my gain stages with the pedals. The bridge pickup is super bitey, which I like sometimes when I just want to, really blast over the top of everything. It'll just cut right through. But, most of the time I'll just sit in that middle position because it just sounds really balanced to me. With these stock Gibson pickups, I've just got the tone just maxed out on 10, and I'm just adjusting the volumes there to taste, and that'll depend on the stage, the room, or the amp that I'm taking in as well. So getting into more of a crunchy kind of setting. See if I can give you a taste of that bridge pickup. So that's just the middle. Okay, and there's the bridge. So it totally rocks, and it can handle quite a lot of gain. I'm really not finding much squeal or feedback or anything from those P90s, which I guess is a good thing, because they can be a bit notorious for that, especially in the older models of the pickup. But yeah, these are really quiet and just a nice sweet sounding pickup as they are, but they've got me curious about what other P90s might do. And it can be just such a great clean sound and a great rockin' sound. But yeah, maybe like to try a few different types. And I don't usually mess with my guitars. I kind of just leave them as they are, and these do sound great. But yeah, I think I wouldn't mind just experimenting with a few different P90s just to see what's out there. Here's a lead tone. Yeah, so it kind of does it all, and I like the idea of having a single coil style SG, and I'm looking to get maybe just a humbucking style SG as well. And I have had them in the past, but I think if you hunt around for long enough, with the Gibsons, for me, it takes me a bit longer to find a really good one. I think, to get my Les Paul, I must have played about 50 of them before I landed on the one that I really liked. But when you do, they're a beautiful thing. And I feel a bit the same about this one. It's just turned into a really great instrument for me. Just with a few of these touch-ups, with that wraparound tailpiece. And yeah, just setting the action right, and adjusting the friction against the nut there and that sort of thing. But yeah, overall it's totally stock. I think you've got those traditional Gibson tuners there, 12-inch flat radius, sort of that classic D style feels really comfy in the hand, the neck there. 22 frets. I like these Batwing pick guards myself, so I think, you know, those 61 reissues and that sort of era of the SG, I think is kind of a classy look. The other one, you know, sort of that bigger pick guard, I don't know, something about it, just the shape of it seems really quite random, the way that they cut it out. But that one there, I think, is quite elegant. Yeah, and compared to sort of the Fender setup, which I like for its simplicity, the options that I get from here, I find, you know, just the flexibility I'm finding really valuable as well. And yeah, just sort of the three pickup options and dialing everything in, really just EQing with the volume and leaving those tones all the way up. And that's about it. So I just put the strap locks on there, and it's ready to go. So strap this one up with 10s. And the previous SGs that I had really liked 9s, and you know, I would put 10s on them, and just didn't feel right. But something about this one is enjoying the 10s, and I might even do sort of a mixed gauge where I put some thicker strings up the top there for some slide. It's not quite sustaining enough for the slide guitar thing for me. And maybe that's just the lower output pickups, but I do want to get my Allman Brothers on, and yeah, I love that kind of sound, and playing slide, you know, from time to time on my gigs. So yeah, I think this has turned into a really great sort of all-rounder workhorse instrument, and yeah, if you find a good one, I would totally recommend the Gibson SG Special. I don't know how it compares to the newer ones. I like sort of the, you know, 2000 to 2010, you know, that decade, somewhere in there. I've find the consistency of their guitars have been really quite good. So usually when I'm going for a Gibson, you know, I mean, I would love kind of the vintage option, but it's not really possible for me. You know, and the market here in Australia is kind of few and far between. And then when you do get a vintage guitar pop up, you know, it's sort of quite a few mortgage repayments to get there. But yeah, for me, kind of that 90s and into the 2000s, that era, from my experience, the guitars that I played have been really good. So I tend to go for something that's just got a little bit of age on it, rather than sort of fresh off the rack. Yeah, so hopefully that's been valuable information for you out there. Thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, please let me know, and any recommendations on the P90s. I'd love to hear what's out there. So yeah, thanks, take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.